Welcome everyone to this Age of Empires 4 build order tutorial for the Ottomans, and today we're going to do a feudal age rush. The first thing, as usual, is we queue up villagers from our town centre, we take a scout to find as many sheep as possible, and then we take 5 of the starting 6 villagers to go to stone, to collect 50 stone, and then to come back to the town centre, and then go to sheep. The last of the remaining starting 6 villagers will go to straggler tree. The very first villager to come out from the town centre will go to build a house, and then the military school, and then we'll go to gold. As you can see, we're bringing those villagers back to the town centre from the stone now, and then they'll be going to sheep. The second villager to come out from the town centre will go to straggler tree. As you can see, we've just built that house. We'll go to build that military school now, and we'll get those spearmen out onto the field to harass our opponent. And sure, it's going to be feudal age rush, but we're going to start off in the dark age as well, primarily. And there we are. Next villagers from the town centre will go to food. So we should have 2 on straggler tree here, 1 builder villager, and now all the other villagers on to food. And in fact, we're actually going to keep getting those villagers from the town centre to go to food until we hit the resources we need to get up to the next stage, the feudal age. And in this build order, we're going to go up with the twin minaret madrasa. We can go for the trade network as well if we so wish, but the Sultan Hani trade network. But we would need to adapt the build order if we do that. So we're going to stick with the twin minaret madrasa, and to consider adaptations, I will be having a section of this video right at the end talking about the adaptations in terms of unit army compositions, whether you want to transition to a 2 town centre build or to a fast castle after the feudal age aggression. So definitely worth sticking around for that if you have some problems or kind of thoughts about how you should tackle the mid to late game. And then we're going to start getting those villagers, as you can see, still going on food. Those 3 villagers now are on gold, 2 from the straggler and 1 from the military school. We did that as soon as we hit 50 wood. As you can see, we've perfectly done it there. No wood in the bank. Nothing is being stockpiled here. We're spending everything we got. And we're taking our scout forward because we want to find as many sheep as possible, but also we want to find what our opponent is doing at this time. It's at about the 2-minute mark. You really want to find out where your opponent is, because your spearmen will be coming out from your military school, and they need to really kind of target something, harass your opponent if you can. Also, it's worth control grouping 3 villagers from food, because it will take 3 villagers from food to build the landmark, the twin minaret madrasa, in this build order. So it's worth being prepared. And I hope you guys enjoyed the build orders I have on the channel. I've got plenty of them for the Ottomans, so if you are interested in them and you're interested in PDFs in particular, do think about having a look at the video description if you're interested in having PDFs. If you've already got access to the PDFs, this build order will be on the most updated version. In any case, it's on there on the screen on the right side for you to make it easier. So it's all good. It's all there for you if you need. Alright, so we're about ready to click up now. So we're going to be going with 3 villagers from food to build the twin minaret madrasa. And now all the new villagers will go to straggler tree. We're also going to take as many villagers as we can off the food to straggler tree, but we have to leave 4 on food there. So basically, leave 4 on food, take everyone else on the sheep to straggler tree until we are able to afford a house and a lumber camp. And in fact, you'll actually take up that whole straggler tree. Once that straggler tree is finished, you need to take all those villagers to a main wood line, because then you'll be able to afford a house and the lumber camp. And well, at this point, all new villagers rally to wood until you age up, and that's it really for the time being. Just make sure you scout as much as possible, make sure you drop that house and the lumber camp, and harass your opponent with the spearmen as much as you can. Also, just consider what you're going to do in the next age. Think about, as soon as that twin minaret madrasa goes up, we're going to be clicking wheelbarrow. Also going to be clicking double broadaxe as soon as we get to the feudal age from the lumber camp. And yeah, just keep harassing your opponent. Also, just take this opportunity to mention that I do have the other Ottomans build orders on the channel. For example, fast castle, 2 town centre play. So if it's something you're interested in, it's worth having a check on that. Because of course you want to have different strategies when you're playing as the Ottomans. Also, I'm not sure if you noticed it there, but actually that straggler tree, once it fully expired, once we took all the wood from that straggler tree, that's when you know you've got full amount of wood that you need for that house and the lumber camp. So as soon as that straggler tree's gone, you know you can take those villagers to the main wood line. As you can see, we're harassing with our spearmen, and yeah, it's looking good so far. We're going to get up to the next stage. Those villagers building the landmark go to food. They'll automatically start taking the berries on the twin minaret madrasa. That's absolutely fine. And now that we've got 10 villagers on wood, that's actually the magic number we wanted. We want 10 on wood, and then we're going to start rallying villagers to food. And we're going to start pulling off villagers from food to build our production buildings. Now that we've got to the next stage, don't forget to queue up wheelbarrow and double broadaxe. So this is where things get interesting. Take a look at this graphic, this little table, which will tell you which, in terms of how many villages you need on what resources for production. We will be building 2 production buildings and also a blacksmith, because for the Ottomans, the blacksmith actually increases the production speed of these production buildings. So it's very important. As you can see, we're actually building the archery range and the stable. But let's take a look at that graphic now. So if you want archers and sipahi, you're going to need to have 7 on wood and 14 on food. If you want archers and spearmen, you want 7 on wood and 13 on food. If you want double archery range production, 10 on wood, 10 on food. And sipahi and spearmen, 4 on wood, 17 on food. So because I tend to go for the first 3 columns, the first 3 options, I aim for 10 on wood, and then I essentially get the rest of the villages now from the town center to go to food. And they go to food until we hit our target of the number of villages we want on food. So if we want 14, we aim for 14. And looking good so far, because once we do then hit 14 on food, for example, if we're going for archers and sipahi, then we will be looking then to think about either going for a second town center or the castle age. As you can see, we just got Anatolian hills from our vizier point because we want to get those sheep nice and early. We're actually going to be getting a upgrade from the blacksmith. In any case, now that we're going to reach 14 on food very soon, now is the time to think about adaptations and where we go on from here. As you can see, we're constantly producing. We've got a military school producing as well. And at this point, let's take a look at this graphic. This is actually included as part of the PDF build order. We're going to go for a second town center. If we want to do that, you will need to get 5 villages on stone once you've reached the number of food villages you need. And then the rest of the villages go to wood. That will give you enough stone and wood to be able to get that second town center up. And then as soon as you've got the second town center up, really what you want to do is get all your villagers to food. If you want to go for castle age, on the other hand, once you've got the number of villagers on food you need 14, I would tend to go for 2 villages on stone, build your 2 military schools, and then all the new villagers will be going to food. And that way you'll be saving enough gold for that castle age, but also you'll be getting 2 military schools to help you get up there and defend yourself to get up to that next stage. At that point, once you've got the 2 more military schools, you could think about just stopping production of army, stop production of the archers, stop production of the sipahi, whatever you're making, and then possibly if you're floating any extra wood, take some wood villages off and go to gold or food just to get yourself up to that castle age. You might also notice that we're getting horticulture now as well, so we're getting all those eco upgrades, which really holds us in good stead for the rest of the game. But also don't be afraid to go for that third option, which is staying in the feudal age with 1 town center and producing more units, plonking down more production buildings, more military schools, and going full aggression in the feudal age. But just be careful, see what your opponent is doing. If your opponent is edging towards that castle age themselves, you'll either have to kill them off in feudal age or prepare to go to castle age yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this build order tutorial for the Ottomans, and if you did, do give the video a thumbs up. If you're interested in a straight up 2 town center build for the Ottomans, click the right hand card screen now, take you right over there. But otherwise, take care and see you next time.